The next item is associated with the Pakistani Teaching Excellence and Achievement, TEA program, with the University of Northern Colorado, and the TEA program director, Madeline, Milian. And Dr. Pilch, did you want to offer another introduction or just welcome?
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's an honor for us to come in front of you and tell you a little bit about this wonderful program that it really aims to improve the education that children are getting in Pakistan, particularly education that young girls are receiving in Pakistan. Just to give you a little bit of the history, we started hosting the TEA program in 2011 and have been doing so ever since. About 20 students, 20 secondary English teachers are selected from about a pool of 400 teachers every year. So it's a very competitive program. This is a program that is funded by the U.S. Department of State and is administered by IRIX, which is a nonprofit organization, and we are implementing the program. This year, the other university that is implementing the program is Montana State. So we have 20 students, and they have 20 students. The fellows are here to improve their English skills, to improve their teaching methodology in English as a foreign language, and also to learn how to use technology in the English classroom. They stay on our campus, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them to be in an academic setting, as well as it is a wonderful opportunity for our students at UNC to get to know people from other parts of the world that they never would have otherwise met. And they become friends, and they play. I think they're playing cricket. Was it cricket you're playing? So anyway, I see all kinds of pictures with UNC students and the TEA teachers doing activities together. We couldn't do this program without the collaboration of our local schools. So we have had a number of schools and teachers who have been very loyal and supportive of this program. We have used Central and West as our high schools, and Franklin, Brentwood, Prairie Heights, and that's it for our middle schools. And some of the schools have been with us since we started in 2011, and some of the teachers have been with us since 2011. So we have very seasoned, what we call host teachers now. We believe that this program not only is improving the education in Pakistan, but is also improving relationships between the United States and Pakistan, because we, in addition to the educational activities that they complete, we also pair each one of the participants with a local family, and they become family friends, and they do activities together, so they have the opportunity to see what American life is about, and also our local community also has, members of our local community also have the opportunity to meet someone from Pakistan and learn about life in Pakistan. We have one of our members who is going to come and thank you.
Well, my name is Asad Qayyum. I am secondary school teacher in English from Khanewal, Pakistan. I would like to take this opportunity to express my immense pleasure and gratitude on the behalf of my TEA fellows from all over Pakistan for allowing us to see you people and observe this meeting. And it's a completely new thing for us, and I'm very hopeful that this thing will bring change in our system. It will be very helpful for us to bring a great change in our system. And in the end, again, I would like to express my gratitude to the president of the board and all the members and all the people associated with this organization for your love and care. Thank you so much.
Well, you've come thousands of kilometers to a little town in northern Colorado, and we're delighted that you're here, but we would like to have you think of us after you come home. So I have a little something I would like to provide you with. to say, remember us when you get home. Oops, I just broke something with John's. Now, you must understand that our team members, our Pakistani friends, have some homework to do, and therefore we are going to excuse you should you need to move on about your business and return to the campus of UNC. Good night, and thank you so much. Good night. Thank you so much. Good night. This has been a delightful evening. Let's continue that. The next item on our agenda is the request for public input in spending federal funds. Dr. Pilch, I'm going to have to turn this over to you, please.
Thank you, Mr. DeWitt. So as you all are aware, although our total budget is over $160 million, and we only receive a small percentage from the federal dollars that come to us. Most of our funding comes from the state level, of course. Even though it's a very small percentage, it is several $1 million that comes to our schools through Title I, Title II, and Title III. And we have an obligation that is placed on us by our federal government to ensure that we are seeking input into the spending of those entitlement funds. And so I'm going to have Mrs. Kathy Van Soest present for you our plan for doing that and share just a little background information with you all.
Good evening. We are at a point of planning for next year. And through the entitlement funds from the federal government, one of our obligations is to seek input from the public in the spending of these funds. So in the consolidated application, these funds that we're talking about come from Title I, Title II, and Title III. Title I is reading and math support for schools with high socioeconomic needs of their students. Title II is all about highly qualified staff and the professional learning that they need in order to be effective teachers. And Title III is English language development. So here is an idea of the way that we have spent the funds in the past. This is the progress that we've made so far has been to use these funds for these current purposes. The implementation of interventions in the schools that have been identified to receive the title dollars in reading and in math in order to try to make a difference and accelerate their progress. Also, the implementation of English language development and the professional development that goes along with that for teachers. In addition, the implementation of the district strategic plan and the Unified Improvement Plan. Now through this, what we do is try to provide opportunities at the schools that are identified for Title I to have opportunities to get together and to work on the plans together and to study research-based strategies. In addition, we try to provide some funding to develop our principal leadership skills and other district staff. And then Title II is really all about providing instructional coaches. So what are our next steps? We gather input from our stakeholders. We do this through a variety of ways. We gather it at the school level, the Title I school level. We gather it by the release of a press release that will go out later this week, and any other way that we can to get the word out that we're interested in getting information from our stakeholders. Another step is to plan effectively based on the needs of the students. So each Title I school principal and their building leadership team and staff will get together to develop a plan that they feel will make the most difference for their students, aligned with the law around Title I. And then we try to submit our application early. Officially, it's not due until the last day of June. We try to have it all ready to go by the middle of May, and then we seek the board's approval of the application later at that time, either the end of May or early June, and then we submit it to the state. For contact information, we request that you contact me, Kathy Van Soest. My information is on either the district website or here on the screen, or Teresa Myers, our Director of Communication.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate the
Thank you.
presentation. It is an obligation that we explain what we're doing with these dollars, and thanks for giving us an outline. Are there comments or questions? Keep
Thank
spending
you.
those monies, I think, is what we'll say.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Kathy.
much. The next item on the agenda is the S. Christa McAuliffe Elementary School name change request. Dr. Pilch.
Thank you, Mr. DeWitt. So I'm excited to have a couple of staff here with us tonight to present you with this proposal. I want to give you just a little background. Last fall, when I arrived in the district, I was invited over to Mr. Peterson's school. He's the principal at S. Christa McAuliffe Elementary School. And Mr. Peterson was sharing with me some of his school-wide data around student enrollment and an indication that students were often leaving Christa S. McAuliffe to go to an out-of-district school, and they would leave sometime in their elementary career in order to secure another school by middle school, or they would leave right after 5th grade and leave to go out of district to another school for 6th grade. As we looked at those numbers real closely, and as Mr. Peterson and I talked more, he spoke of his interest that his staff had brought to him, and an interest of pursuing a possible STEM focus, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And you know, I am disappointed that none of our schools in the district have that as part of their, you know, a real driven focus in the district at the elementary level. We do have a STEM focus at Northridge High School, but at the elementary level, we haven't had that. And so Mr. Peterson was asking, is it okay if we study this further? And I thought it was a great idea. I encouraged him to do so. In addition, we looked at his numbers, and I asked him to consider the possibility of moving his school to a K-8 school over the next 3 years. So tonight's agenda item is about the school name, not really about the K-8, but I wanted to provide all of that context. I should also share with you that not only has the McAuliffe staff and community been looking at the possibility of a STEM focus, but so has Billy Martinez Elementary School. And they've done some studying and will continue to work on that, and I won't be surprised at all if they're not before us at some point in the near future. So I am excited about this proposal tonight to have you consider it as a Board of Education. You know, this proposal is really about moving in a direction that meets the needs of all of our students. We talk about personalization in our district mission and vision, and this is about better personalizing for our students and making sure that we're offering a product that our families want within District 6. It's also, as we talked about in the work session, and so you all don't get to see that on TV, but we talked in the work session around how do we add a new program within our existing resources. Well, we will be bringing back more than projected the number of students, and that per pupil revenue that will be generated off of those students, we plan to pay for the additional programming around the STEM focus with those dollars. So that's pretty exciting to us as a district staff, and I think it fits within our goals around organizational and operational effectiveness, to be certain that we're making recommendations and decisions that are prudent within the limited resources that we have. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Jeff Peterson, principal, and Elizabeth Urick, teacher at McAuliffe Elementary School.
And parent.
Oh,
I'd
and
like to add
parent.
that in.
At McAuliffe?
Yep.
Oh, great, okay.
Well, good evening, Superintendent Pilch, President DeWitt, and Board of Education members. It's our pleasure to be here tonight to represent the Christa McAuliffe community. We're here, as you've heard, before you tonight to petition to change our name. It has been a very exciting year and changes for Christa McAuliffe Elementary School. Through much discussion and input, as Dr. Pilch led to, we got input from staff, from the PTO, we gave parent surveys, and we had a parent information night, but the decision was made to transition to a STEM-focused K-8 school over the next 3 years.
As we explored these exciting changes, it became apparent that our old name of S. Christa McAuliffe Elementary School was no longer going to be good. So we got a lot of input, as Jeff alluded to, from staff, parents, and anyone else who would listen. It was important that our name reflect our future. And we wanted to also maintain the rich past and continuing the namesake of S. Christa McAuliffe.
So after much thought, the name S. Christa McAuliffe STEM Academy was chosen. And per board policy, we then presented a petition to the McAuliffe community at the winter parent-teacher conferences. And in a very short amount of time, we were able to collect over 300 signatures. And it's with that community support behind us that we ask of your support today to move forward in changing our name.